Virginia Ballard Jackson.
Jackson?
Jackson? Hey, nice to meet you, Jackson.
Daniel, I'll page the mother. Give me an AP view of the shoulder, please.
All right.
I'll get the orthopedist.
This is gonna hurt a little bit, champ. That's it. It's over. That's it.
Man!
That's it. We're done.
Where's my mom?
Hey, we're gonna call her. She'll probably meet us at the hospital.
Hello, this is Dr. Nihei.
Hi, Doc.
Okay, I'm going to need an AP of the left clavicle.
You should be singing now.
Great. Great. Okay, a little to the left, please.
All right.
Sorry, other left.
Right.
Thank you. Good. Okay. Dixie, there's a posterior displacement of the distal fragment left clavicle.
Huh. Doctor says you've got a broken clavicle.
Jackson, you're gonna be just fine. I'll see you in a few minutes.
Daniel, bring him to 6A. Tell him
Mom's on the way.
You got it, Dix? Hey, champ, your mom will be waiting for us when we get there. Okay? Just rest for now.
You guys gotta call the cops.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Sure, we'll call the cops. Just take it easy for now, huh?
What Jackson put together in the classroom is the kind of animation that today we'd only associate with a high-budget film. And so in a similar way that what used to require typesetting and very expensive tools to make a professional presentation, professional document, that we brought down into the hands of the average user with advanced word processing tools, now we'll be bringing these animation capabilities down to individual authors. And what this means is not only students, but teachers and anyone will be able to put together rich things. Inside Jackson's presentation, we saw lots of images that he'd pulled together off the network. And that's another key point about this digital world. Taking someone else's work and adding to it, picking the subset you want, blending it with another one, is very, very easy in this environment. And so for the first time, we'll see teachers sharing their ideas, reviewing to say which is the best, and then tuning it for the particular thing they're trying to do, and making it compelling in a way that will allow them to compete with the production values of TV that kids are exposed to so much of the time. Then moving to the ambulance, we had a collaboration going on here. In a sense, you can say this is the most mission-critical application, dealing with a health emergency. And so we had three different people: the nurse in the emergency room, the doctor who was on call, and the gentleman in the ambulance, all trying to decide what to do. And it wasn't just a video image that was being exchanged there. There was an immense amount of data being made available. For example, the nurse was getting advice on this type of problem. What steps should she go through? In fact, we drew that material from a CD-ROM title that's been published about the human body. We called up Jackson's phone number, we called up his medical records, and these people could have been anywhere. That doctor, for example, could have still been at home providing the advice and yet able to help out in this way. And so all kinds of business activity, whether it's designing a product, dealing with a customer problem, presenting a product opportunity, all of these can be handled very well with this kind of large screen display and the user interface that we're demonstrating here. Well, now let's go back and find out how Jackson's doing.
Next. The corner arrived at, call it 0800. Next. Area secured, yes. God, I hate paperwork.
Tell me about it. Now what?
An attempted juvenile abduction, two perps, both Caucasian males, one 30-35, the other in his 50s.
I'll keep my eye out.
Driving a late 90s silver Olds Aurora.
Oh, it's worth a shot. Come on.
Hey, dude, keep the change.
Go.
Honey, have something else to do.
I'm hungry, Mom.
You know what I don't understand, Jackson? Why would you run from someone who's pointing a gun at you?
He was not pointing the gun at me.
Miss Ballard. Hi, I'm Becca McGowan, Seattle PD. This is my partner, Stu Ryan. We'd like to ask Jackson a couple questions.
If it's okay with him, you feel it?
Yeah, it's fine.
I know that you already told the other officer, but I need to know what happened.
Well, these two guys jumped out of their car.
A silver Olds?
Yeah, it was an old Aurora. And this one guy, he tried to grab me. So I ran. I mean, this guy had a gun.
You ever see either of them before?
No.
You told Officer Calsey that you thought maybe they were after your backpack. You mind if I...
Yes.
So, what do you think they wanted with your backpack?
I have no idea.
You ever do drugs, Jackson?
No way.
Nothing?
I'll be a cop if you want.
It won't be necessary.
Oh. So where'd you get this?
Tell them.
May I help you?
Oh, hi. Becca McGowan, Stu Ryan, Seattle PD. You're the owner?
Yes.
We understand your store sells pre-Columbian art.
Yes. Reproduction.
Ah, well, we're working on a case that involves pre-Columbian art, and we need to get a little background. Quite frankly, we're out of our depth.
And you thought you'd pick my brain. Well, I guess you better come in.
Thank you.
We'll go up to my office. Just step, it's very dark.
It's a beautiful store.
Thank you.
How valuable are these things?
Everything I sell is a reproduction. Some of it's very expensive, but there's nothing that's valuable.
You mind if I record this?
Not at all.
Okay. Now, these pre-Columbian pieces, Mr. Blackwood, where are these made?
Well, most of mine are made in Peru.
In Peru?
Various suppliers. The workshops in Mexico are cheaper, but it shows. Now, what exactly are you investigating?
Smuggling. Illegal importation of antiquities.
That's the problem in this business. Most of the pre-Columbian things you find, fake. That's why I sell reproductions now much safer.
Do you have a list of suppliers that we could look at?
I'd be happy to. Shall I limit this to pre-Columbian?
Fine.
How many of these pieces do you sell in an average week?
Well, that depends upon the week. The pre-Columbian works have been very slow lately.
Anything in the last couple of days?
Nothing that comes to mind, unfortunately.
You know what would be great? Perhaps you could give us a list of all of your transactions, say, for the last week?
I'd love to, but I have to protect my clientele. So I'm afraid that this is where I draw the line, my dear. Anything else? Other questions?
Just one. What kind of car do you drive, Mr. Blackwood?
A Ford Trapeze.
You've been very helpful.
Sketches are in.
Slimy, lying little miserable sack of
Say, looks like you guys are really putting things together.
Hi, Bill. Well, we have something. It's not enough.
Oh, I know that kid could pick him out of a lineup. This guy's way dirty.
So now you'll,
Arrest him? For what? Misdemeanor assault, stolen property? It's not enough. I'm gonna get him on something that sticks.
We'll see you later, Bill.
Yeah, let's go.
Several times here we've seen voice recognition play a role. When we're filling out the forms for the officer, when we're taking transcription here, And I do think this will become a really central way of interacting with the computer. The advances in performance that we've talked about, the advances in the software that certainly 100 companies or more are working on, as well as the kind of context we get by understanding natural language, by having applications explain their state and what's likely to be coming in and feed that back into the input system so it can pick the right words in this kind of environment. All of that will come together. So we'll see speech command capabilities, we'll see speech dictation capabilities, as well as, of course, the ability to store speech and play it back, which is very, very straightforward. Here we can actually see the words being recognized as they're being put together there. Now, speech won't totally replace the keyboard. We'll still have the keyboard, and we'll have different forms of pointing, including even handwriting, that will be used to work with these devices in a seamless way. We also saw an advanced use of the business desktop. Here we had a database, but it wasn't like today's databases. It was an object-oriented database. So it had pictures of the suppliers. You could just point at the icon there and make contact with that supplier or see your status of orders from them. So everything's kind of integrated together, which by putting the object capability into the file system itself and the operating system, we'll have the ability to pull things together in this fashion. We clicked up a pop-up menu on this, and we chose the common ways we want to filter it, in this case, choosing pre-Columbian. And so the ability to navigate through doesn't require thinking about different forms of storage, because all the things have links that span from one to the other. Well, now we're about to see the end. Let's see how this turns out.
See what you made me do.
Now, wait a second. What kind of ending was that? I mean, I think in the future, with something like this, you ought to be able to choose the ending. So I ought to be able to take my little wallet PC here and say that I'd really like to see the alternate ending.
No, you stop. I'm afraid this is where I'll have to draw the line, my dear.
I'll take that. Whoops. That's the trouble with your business. Too many fakes.
Book him. Oh, don't forget to read him his rights.
You know, I think this thing's solid gold.
Lovely.
And this is a nice look for you.
Oh, thanks.
Latte?
If you're buying.
The way I bought last time.
You did not.
So we got our happy ending there. What we've seen here requires a number of things to come together, a number of building blocks to make it all happen. The first is we need very high-speed networks, and it's going to take lots of competition that has to be unleashed through deregulation to get people building these at full speed. We have the wired network that goes at very high speed, but we also have the wireless network that's being formed through things like the auction that's coming up for the PCS spectrum. We also need a wide variety of hardware, people who can make that little inexpensive small device. Some of those will have voice capability, some won't. The screen displays will come in every size you can imagine, wall-sized, notebook-sized, desktop-sized, and many companies will participate in that. And these include classic consumer companies as well as all the PC companies. We'll also need a lot of new software at the operating system level, at the authoring tool level. We've got to really empower people who are not technologists to reach in and do their work here. And that's a ripe area with a lot of new ideas and simplicity being brought to that authoring environment. And most importantly, we need great applications and services. This means hospitals thinking about how they can be involved, or any company that sells their products thinking about how they work together with their customers. Now, I'd say that we are seeing excellent progress in every one of these areas. That's what makes me confident that a decade from now it will have been brought together. On the software side, the excitement and innovation around both CD and online services is a big part of where the new ideas are coming out. We have a number of new startup companies doing CD titles and bringing them to all sorts of subject areas. For example, we have a 3D landscape title from Books That Work, where you can not only design what your garden looks like, you can see what it's going to look like as it grows years into the future. For kids, we have a title, Freddy the Fish, that comes from Humongous Entertainment. It takes the animation and graphics capabilities of the PC to a new level by sitting on top of some of the elements in the graphical system. Another great new title from 7th Level, who's done very state-of-the-art animation, is a Monty Python
This man is no ordinary man.
And of course that draws on the TV series and the movies that were done there. Besides startup companies, we have classic media operations also saying, how can they take the work they do in different mediums and use interactive as part of that? So from Turner, working together with Swift, we have their Gettysburg title, where they put out an interactive CD that goes along with the movie and TV show. Another example of this is the Discovery Channel, which when they did their Normandy series put out a CD that let you interact, get into a lot of depth that simply wouldn't fit into the length of the TV show. The CD gives us a way of having lots of information and audio and video together. Another platform for innovation certainly is network and dial-up. On the internet, we're seeing an explosion of web-type pages. Even the White House has recently come up and did some excellent work. They let you listen to Bill Clinton, go out and see different government agencies, fill out forms, and everybody's getting involved. Even small companies. One of my favorites out there is a little company called Virginia Diner. Lets you click and see pictures of their famous peanut brittle. You can even fill in a form and order that, and they'll send it to you right away. It's this kind of experimentation of what's popular, how should it be presented, getting the tools out there that's going to get us to the critical mass of information that makes people want to have electronic access everywhere they go every day. The impact of all of this is quite substantial. It's not just movies on demand. People think of it that way, and they mislead themselves, because that alone would not be enough to justify this investment. People think of it as computing, but I think that also misleads us, because it's not really about computing. If it's about any one thing, it's about communications. Taking today's phone system to a new level, where we not only have video, but we have the intelligence in the system to help us locate things, to follow links, to store the information so we can get at it when we want to. The kind of electronic commerce that will go on here of picking real estate, finding a professional that you want to work with, allowing people with expertise, even if they want to stay at home most of the time, to offer that expertise and work through the screen. It's really very, very different than anything that's happened before. Even entertainment is quite broad. TV shows, music selections, gaming. We'll have TV game shows that you can bet along with the contestants. We'll have multiplayer games for bridge and chess and role-playing games. We'll even have gambling. So if you want to lose money very efficiently without coming down to Las Vegas, you'll be able to do that right there on your screen device. The government's role, besides opening up the regulatory environment, will be to participate as an application provider, going in and filling out forms, renewing your driver's license. That will be very straightforward here. No more lines involved in that. Having transparency to the political process, seeing the bills that are being debated, seeing who's saying what. Very straightforward here. Finding people who have a common point of view and organizing politically will be straightforward. Medicine is also a big part of this. Just those electronic records moving around so that experts can quickly see what your case is. That will make healthcare not only less expensive, but far more effective than it is today. The most important opportunity, I think, is in this area of education. Education is what we use as a society to provide equal opportunity, to help every individual realize their full potential. And I think for the first time, these tools will eliminate some of the labor-intensive and individual aspect of that and allow for a sharing that's never gone on before. Now, I've been out many times talking about my excitement about this information highway era. And every time I speak, there are a number of concerns that come up. This is not without its areas that we have to watch out for. First of all, ease of use. A lot of people think maybe they'll be the only one that won't be able to use the system because they've seen things like config.sys or VCRs that they find very difficult today. And that's a challenge to the industry. I happen to believe that as we move and take graphical interface and go to the next level, which I'll call the social interface, where you interact with a personality that you've chosen and it remembers what you've done, that we'll be able to solve that problem. Privacy is a major concern about the system knowing all these things that you're doing, and we need to use both technology and policies to control, to make sure people are confident that they can use it for all their activities. Universal access is a serious concern. What about people who live in rural areas? What about people who aren't rich enough to buy these devices? What about people who are, have never been exposed to the PC? And some of those questions are political questions of how will it be subsidized for various users as it reaches out into the mainstream. A lot of the worries that people have really come down to a fear of change. Will their job be displaced? Is there something they ought to be learning about? And I think that's why, even though all of these articles are kind of like a mania, feeding frenzy, I think the focus on this debate and getting people thinking in advance how we want to shape this thing and what they ought to do individually is a very worthwhile thing. The opportunities here are incredible. This is where the PC industry will find its growth. We can be at the center of this, and we will be as we take our architecture and expand it out to those new form factors and move into new applications. It's not just about productivity tools. Communication of all types, whether it's within a particular application like design work, or whether it's creating new kinds of markets, those things require lots of companies to step back and take a new look. Dozens of killer applications. Now, every company is going to have to avoid business as usual here. There'll be lots of new companies that grow up to do very well here, and the only big companies do well are ones that are going to be entrepreneurial, break out of the boundaries and make sure that they obsolete their own products instead of having other people come along. This is not something that's just happening in the United States. There are great ideas about how this should be used everywhere in the world. The awareness, the discussion of it is at a high pitch, even in countries that are newly converted to be market economies. And in some cases, they'll invest in the infrastructure because they're starting really from scratch and want to make sure they're not left out. So all of us should reach out and find partners, not only in this country, but in every country in the world. The opportunity here is unbelievable. Looking back, I think we can all say that the PC industry has come a long ways, but it's really nothing compared to what's going to happen here. I am more excited about this and these possibilities than I ever have been since the beginning of the PC. It's going to take thousands of companies from several industries to make this happen. And everyone here is going to have lots of opportunities arising out of this. Thank you.